the knife guy. I just got back from a week-long vacation and called a few customers to get their knives sharpened today. So I have a customer who brought me a couple of pruners as well. I'm gonna show you a couple different ways of how to sharpen those. Scissors, and a very common mistake of what he did on that, and it's a very easy fix. And I'm gonna go through my process of trying to clean up all this rust and sap from trees. And he brought me a little pocket knife on how to, so I'll show him how to sharpen that. So he asked for me to sharpen this knife at 15 on the angle and then this guy at 17. So that's a very easy thing to do with my machine. Gabo, what's going on, buddy? How are you? So the wife and I just got back from a little vacation, and it's good to be back home, man. So. Awesome. How are you doing? So I'm just trying to get everything set up here. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna sharpen this guy at 15 on the angle, then this one at 17. And then I'm gonna use my Dremel with the couple wheels on it to take off all this gunk right here. So let's see what this one was at from the last customer. I believe this was at 17. So if it is, I'll sharpen the other one first. I'm good with that. This one's at 17.4. Let's get this a little bit lower. Perfect. 17.2, I'm good with that. By twisting, it's gonna adjust for a second. 17.3, 17.2. Sweet, I'm good with that. So when I first started, I had a Ken Onion, and I still have it, but that's how this guy sharpened these pair of shears. And I showed him of like, you have to sharpen this entire bevel from top to bottom. And what the Ken Onion does, it only sharpens just the very edge of it, the shiny part. So that's what's gonna be amazing about having this twice as sharp. So I'll show him how I can sharpen that. MK, how's it going? I am currently doing some knife sharpening right now. Dude, I appreciate it, man. So, yes, I did just hit monetization of like 3,000 hours, watch hours on my channel. So it's been awesome doing that. So I'm trying to get up to 4,000 so I can get more monetized. But I have some, when we were on like vacation, I had some pretty cool ideas of things I want to talk about and sharpening. So I did order some new upgraded stuff for serrated knives. I have someone trying to bring me a sword, and I'm going to replace this Tulker and get a 1x30, or no, I'm sorry, I'm going to get a buck tool slow speed bench grinder. So, and then I'm going to get a couple of serrated wheels, a couple of Scotch-Brite belts or wheels, and that should be a lot better to sharpen and remove rust and everything else like that. So let's get to sharpening. Gabe, I totally appreciate the support, man. And if there's any things that you want to watch or any topics you want me to go over, let me know. All right, I have my respirator on. So if you guys have any questions, I'm going to stop the machine and then answer it since it gets pretty loud. So I have a 120 grit Cubitron belt, sharpen at 2,000 RPMs, edge leading. Thank you. Hey everyone, also check out Perfect Blade. He has a really nice YouTube channel. Goes a little bit more in depth on the long form videos than I do, and talks about some great things. He just had a video a few days ago. So if you guys have any questions, check out his channel as well. So I'm only doing one knife at a time since this one is going to be, actually no, I'm going to sharpen this guy as well. Where's that pocket knife? I'm going to sharpen this guy at, no, I'll change this guy up to 20. He doesn't need it at 17. Okay. So now I'm going to my 600 grit Trizac belt. And I'll do equal passes back and forth on that. All right, so now I'm doing equal passes on the A30, I'm sorry, the A16 Trizac, which is 1200 grit. All right, so this one is all done. Let me get this swapped over back to the 120. All right. Take you over to my other machine. With the leather belts, they're kind of finicky, so I put it an arrow, seeing which direction rides best on it. All right. And now I'm going edge trailing, obviously, so I don't want to cut into my belt. And I'll do equal passes back and forth. So what I like to do is always take the leather belts off the machine. All right, take my mask off. You always want to take the leather belt off the machine because you don't want it to stretch over time. Gabo, thank you very much for telling everyone to hit the thumbs up. I totally appreciate it. Thank you very much. Question, when you have a break, do you check the width of the metal behind? I don't actually check, like I don't measure the actual width. Let's see. All right, how's this angle? So I don't measure how wide it is, but usually the Japanese single bevel knives, those have they're usually thicker up here, so then you do have to thin it out a little bit. So I drop the angle pretty low and just also, Japanese knives, I usually sharpen to 13, so I may drop the angle to 10 and then thin it out and then bring it back to 13 or so. This one has a pretty normal edge to it, so I don't worry about thinning on these types of knives. Usually the ones that also, it's still pretty high up here on the bolster. I told the customer next time I'll round off the bolster, there's no charge for that. But usually when I start seeing like knives drop maybe a 1/4 inch or so, it'll always get thicker and then I'll thin it up. So until I have to touch up like the bolsters when I'll actually thin like the knife out. But again, that's a little bit more of a process, and then I'll tell the customer what I'll be doing, what I recommend. And this one slices very beautifully. So put that one over here. All right, let's change the angle on this guy. Usually I don't do this too often. Usually I run through everything into like assembly line, but this guy was pretty specific on what he wanted. I'm like, cool, I can make it happen. All right, so I don't trust these Amazon ones. I'm going to go to a fabricator and get these platens thinned out or even made differently so I can actually put a full length angle guide on. So that's my goal within the next week. And yeah, I love these Atulker machines. These are amazing. All right, so let's drop this guy down to 15. So that's 17.2 right now, so same. All right, share with me when you do that, please. Yeah, absolutely. I see that on your videos you're running I believe a Harbor Freight. Yeah, these were not cheap investments, but I do love it. One bad thing about them is there's no customer service. Got these from Amazon and they're made in China, so there's no customer service when a few things break down or I need support on it. So that's one downside. All right, 15.2. Perfect. 15.3, change it. Perfect, I like it. So that's why I always have this angle guide. This one is amazing. All right, let's get sharpening on this guy. So I talked to the customer. I said this one probably didn't need it too much, but again, the tip is broken off on it, and then I could see some light refracting on the edge. So he said, since he brought it here, let's clean it up. So I'm like, perfect. So again, this is Cubitron 120, 120 grit. All right, so now I'm going to the A30 Trizac, which is about 600 grit. And then now I'm going to the A16, which is 1200 grit Trizac. I'm sorry, A16 Trizac 1200 grit. And this will leave a nice little mirror polish on it. Alright, so then back to the leather strap. So I sharpen around 2000 RPM. That's why I love the Tulker, because I can adjust how fast I want it. And then I strap at 1400, just a little bit slower. Awesome. All right, always remember to take your leather strap off. I'll leave it right there. You just don't want any tension on it. That's the worst thing for it. So, clean this off with some rubbing alcohol. Let's see how good this one cuts. Yeah, this just glides through. Push cutting. Something I'm really trying to focus on the new year is making sure my camera frame is where you guys can actually see the whole video. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I'm gonna put one of these towels underneath this machine. I wonder if that will help with the vibration or the sound. So while I do this, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm totally happy to answer any of them. All right, move this out of the way just for a second. So I capture all my metal shavings on a couple of paper towels. Then I have my magnet here underneath it to help catch any metal shavings. So the problem with the Tulker compared to the Harbor Freight and other stuff is it's an open frame model. So metal shavings do get everywhere. So one reason I like going edge leading, belt coming towards us, is that a lot of the material falls right here. So I can help capture that. So, all right, this guy will go down here. Let's just see. I've been noticing this gets a lot of like vibration. So I'm curious if this will help at all. All right, let's see. And then shameless plug, if you guys do like the content so far, please follow me. Well, give this video a thumbs up. It does help the channel. And please give me a follow on Instagram, Facebook, the TikTok, and YouTube, which you guys are already on right now. All right, so then we'll put this back. We'll see how well this contains all the metal shapings, or at least the vibration. So now I'm gonna sharpen this pocket knife. And I always like to inspect knives with customers. So right away, these serrations are pretty horrible. And I don't have anything that can reprofile these and make them sharper. So I told him I'll clean this up right here, and I'm gonna touch the back edge of it to bring up a burr. It looks like someone has already done that, but I can't make the serrations any sharper. So give your customer true expectations of what you can do, and usually they're totally fine with it. So and I'm gonna sharpen this one at 20 on the angle. So the reason I use this ruler is because my platen is so short. I'm using this ruler to act as some extension for it. Let's wait for it to zero out. All right, let's move this guy. 220. And if you're in the area, it's like 20.1, I wouldn't stress over it. At 20.2, you can go crazy just trying to match it up to the exact angle that you want, at least just get in the ballpark. So 20.2, wait for it to settle, 20.1, that's perfect. So I'll just do a few light passes, only sharpening this little section right here. See if it'll focus right here, and then I'll touch the back edge up on the 600 grit. So this, I wish I had a belt splitter. If anyone can 3D print me a belt splitter, let me know. So this section is smaller than my belt. So if I went straight up, I'd be sharpening into the serrations, which I don't want to do. So what I did was tilt it up freehand and only sharpen on this side. So I had the knife instead of flat at an angle, still keeping the same angle, just tilted, and then only sharpen over here. So if you have a belt splitter, you can have smaller knives. That works out really well. So the vibration also did not seem to die down. Let me fold this out. 1 second. Maybe better. Let's try this. Since I have like the earmuffs, the vibration sound is totally fine for me, but I'm curious how it is for you guys since you're watching. So Just trying to dampen it down for you guys a little bit. And then let's actually put this down too. Cool. All right, that's as best as I can get right now. All right, so then we're gonna go with the 600 grit Trizac right now. All right, so that one is as good as I might get right there. So now with the serrations, I'll come over here to my other magnet, my on-off magnet. Attach it here. I'm gonna take my Dremel. I'm gonna take this for a second. And I'm just gonna move like the birds back and forth. And that should help weaken the burr. Perfect. And let's take this to the leather wheel or the leather belt. Okay. Okay. That's not bad for how much damage there is. That's not bad. I still see a little bit of a burr, so I'm gonna try and work on that for a second. But that straight edge is pretty good. All right. That was dumb. Don't do that. I just cut into the edge. Don't do that. Why am I using a belt grinder? So, talking to the customer. I don't know if I can zoom in. All right, let's see. These serrations are so bad off. I would need a super small diamond wheel, and I told him I can't. I don't have anything that small. So someone already sharpened like the back edge of it. So the serrations are so tiny, I have nothing to get in there. I do have some rat tail files, but they leave it looking so jagged and they don't even do a good job. So I do have a buck tool, low speed bench grinder, and I ordered some diamond wheels from Cliff Curry, and those are coming in. So I just told the customer, you can wait, but I have nothing small enough to get into these serrations. So I found a very good way to touch the edge up on the back edge if the serrations are still good, and then clean it up with the wire wheel brush. And that does leave some pretty good results. Only problem is it doesn't resharpen. So like the small file is good, but it doesn't, I don't know. From my experience, I could be wrong, but it just doesn't create a good bitey edge with those serrations. So that's my experience. But I told the customer this is what I can do until I can find a small enough bench grinder or the wheel for it. So that's, I mean, I told him this will not leave the best result, and he was totally fine with that. So I told him what I knew what I could do. So all right, make sure your leather belt is always off the machine so there's no tension. I think we're done with that actually. So also my customer brought me his scissors. So I'm gonna show you how I sharpen. Well, he has the Ken Onion, and this was my first sharpener. And for what it was, it worked out great. It comes with an angle guide. I took it off, and you could put the knives here and rest it on these little wheels. For what it was, it worked fantastic. Also, it still has its limitations, and then it has its built-in angle guide for scissors. And this is the exact model that my customer has. The problem is, yeah, it goes, yeah, maybe you're like, so what files are you using? I'm using some DMT diamond serrations, and I can never get them leaving a good edge. They're always jagged, and they're never uniform. So that's my personal experience. So I'm waiting for the diamond wheels to come in from Cliff Curry. So hopefully you guys can see this. I'll zoom in. What the Ken Onion does, it only sharpens the very edge right here. And I show them with the blue marker, you have to sharpen from top to bottom. Otherwise, it just won't leave a strong edge for a while. So it only sharpens just the very tip. So I bought the twice as sharp scissor sharpener. I'm gonna roll that out right now. And this thing has been amazing. So I'll show you how I run my setup. I have it tucked away over here. I did buy an upgraded wheel for it. So I bought a CBN wheel from pruners, and this is it. Let me zoom out so you guys can actually see. And this machine works so well on scissors, because I did do a few scissors when I first started on this guy, and we're still going to use it to sharpen these, but this one has been amazing. All right. So what I'll do with my marker, these look like they're gonna be the same angle, but still mark them with a marker, any color, black, red, yellow, blue, whatever. Black works for me. And I just mark in the entire edge of it. I'll steal a light from one of my machines. Grab a couple paper towels. The CBN wheel is coming in, and it's gonna be amazing. It's about 320 grit. This is about 100 grit, so this one cuts faster, I believe, but the wheel isn't uniform. It leaves a lot of mess with the type of wheel, and 100 grit is just very coarse. So you can see there's a little bit of a gap. So I'm going to just adjust the angle a little bit. And this is just the longest part. So I'm just going to see where we're at. So we're just at the edge. Getting a little bit higher. Oh, we're so close. Okay. So I'm just gonna drop it down ever so gently. We are getting there. A little bit more. So close. One thing I wish the Toy Sharp had was micro adjustments. So close. Oh yeah, that looks great. All right, so then we're just gonna give that a pass. Got my respirator on since this does create a little bit of a mess. So, a little touch up here, but taking out the whole burr, or the whole angle, so I'm hitting across the whole thing. Nope, still see a little bit right there. All right. Now let's see what the angle is on this guy. Actually, let's hone it just real quick. Okay. So that's one side done. Let's check how the other one is. I want to say that these could be the same angle, but just want to confirm. Nope, too high. All right, different angle. We're almost there. It looks really good. Maybe just a little bit more. All right, that looks really good. All right, let's sharpen this guy. gonna throw a burr. Swap around to the honing side. Okay. Now I take my pink stone and just move the burr back to the other side. And I'm going to push apart and pinch to close, pull apart and pinch to close. Perfect. Awesome. All right. Wipe these down with some rubbing alcohol. Yeah, perfect. So I have to get more efficient with setting the angle faster with these, but it took a few minutes and now these are razor sharp. So, very good. I like it. So this guy's done. And since I don't have a lot of space, I try to be creative. So I bought this little roller cart, and that's where this machine lives. So all that. So I still wear like a respirator. I think I'm going to take these eye shields off because they don't do too much except get it in my way. So pull this guy back. And that's where the twice as sharp lives. Rolls underneath my little workbench. All right. So, going to swap out this wire wheel brush for this radial disc, and that's going to take out a lot of the junk and material from these right here. I have a very coarse grid on it. I put 4 wheels on it, and this should take off a lot of the gunk and leave a nice uniform polish to it. Well, I wouldn't say polish, it's gonna just take off like the gunk and leave more of a satin finish on it. So there's a couple ways to sharpen these. Since the customer is gonna come back, I could either take these apart, or I showed them on this right here. So I did one edge a little bit already. I think it was this guy. So it's a little, no, it must be this one. So it's a little shinier. And since he has the same thing, I'm not gonna use the twice as sharp because you can easily take this whole thing apart and put this in the clamp and sharpen it on it, and it's amazing. Or you could use this. This has a carbide tip, and you can easily just push against this, match the angle up, create a burr, and then 2 ways, move the burr back with this machine or with this tool, or just close it off and clamp it off and the burr will cut off. But I'm gonna show them how I do it on the twice as sharp, since this, or I'm sorry, on the kin onion, since that's what he has. And then we're just gonna remove all the gunk from right here. So got my my respirator on since stuff is gonna be flying everywhere. And I'll show you how this comes out. So just for a little bit of time, you'd see where I took a lot of the junk off. I could let this rest in my evaporust I have over here, so I can let that sit in a few hours and try and take it off, but he's gonna come back in a little bit, so I don't have too much time. So that's the downside, you know, you kind of have to let the customer know of what your timeline is to leave the best job. And I like to clean up before I sharpen. Okay. So there's some deep pitting. I don't know if I can take those out, but we'll see. So that's not bad. That's doing a pretty good job. Yeah, that looks a lot better. So there's some deep pitting from just years of rust. I don't know if I can take it out, but we'll try. Cool. Perfect. All right, so the other side. Not bad. All right. This is not the most luxury thing to see, but looking from this side to this side, it looks a whole lot better. Are you saying to use a file on this? What? So I guess what tool? I mean, what tool would you use a file on? The serrated knives or on this guy? good. I'm gonna clean it back here. So the reason why I like to clean these up first before I sharpen is if I could damage it with using this. So it's pretty easy to sharpen, so that's why I'll just do it at the end. Okay, it's in place. Put my ear pro on. Let me spend more time on that. Try to make that more uniform. Gabo, thank you very much, man. I totally appreciate that. Thank you very much. Gabo, thank you very much, man. I go back to work at the fire department tomorrow, and then I'll have some more knives on the next couple days. So, quick before and after. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I like it. And then once I'm done with this guy, I'll get the sharpening. Oh my god. Alright. Okay. Let's. I'm gonna have to upgrade my Dremel. It kept shutting off on me a few times, which was annoying. But it's all real world applications right there. So they do look significantly better. So I got it back over here. So not everyone has the twice as sharp sharpener, which is a lot of money, big investment. So I'll show you a way of how to sharpen these on the Ken Onion, which a lot of people have actually. So I'm going to close up like the blade by not cutting the actual belt and match up the angle. And while cutting, gently move from pivot to tip. So again, matching up like the angle, coming across. These have a lot of carbon, so you'll see sparks fly. And yeah, There we go. And so we'll leave a nice little clean edge on it for the customer. And I'm only using a coarse grit. I don't think you need to go any smoother than 120 grit on the pen onion. All right, here we go. That's really good. So only took a few passes, matched up the angle the best I could. All right, so let's see how we did. Angle looks pretty good. Oh, looks pretty even from pivot to tip. And same thing on the other one. Pivot to tip looks pretty good. So there's two ways to remove like the burr. So I spent a little bit more passes on this since the edge was pretty messed up. So you feel the burr throughout the whole way. So you can either, kind of like scissors, push them apart, but they're kind of tough on this, but there's a shearing motion. You just don't want to push the burr into the actual cutting part. So what I do is I take this carbide tip and I just move the burr to the other side. You can cut the burr off by cutting them into each other, but I just don't want to risk damaging like the edge. And then that looks pretty good. And so same thing over here, I fill a burr and I'm just going up and away from me. Let's move the burr to the other side. Doesn't take too many passes, all doing light passes. I don't know if it'll cut paper, very thin magazine paper, but let's see. Let's see how it does. The camera. Whew. I like it. I like it. Get that little piece out of the way. Okay, it's not cutting it all the way at the tip. Let me push a little bit harder. Yeah, there we go. I'm pretty happy with that. That looks awesome. Okay, not cutting at the tip. So maybe spend a little bit more time at the tip on it. Or if you need a little bit more work, just match up the angle with this guy and just gentle passes. But these don't need to be razor sharp. Oh, there we go. So I just took a little bit more. Just twisting the paper at the very edge. Still, like, the tip isn't cutting. Okay, there we go. I don't know. I like it. That one didn't cut. There we go. I like it. Cool. Well, that's my process of doing these. I would usually let these sit in the vaporous for like maybe 20-30 minutes to try and take up more of the material, but the customer will be here very shortly. And I would disassemble the whole thing, but for a quick polish, that's not bad using those radial discs. And it's cutting very thin paper, so you know it's going to cut the shrubs very easily. Yeah, this one, I like that. Awesome, guys. So that is all I have for today. I'm gonna wrap these up and give them back to the customer. So I want to thank you guys. And so I have my custom sheets here. So I want to thank you guys very much for stopping in to check out the channel, the live stream. If you're happy with it, please give it a thumbs up. That definitely helps me grow as a YouTube channel. So I definitely appreciate it. Let's put this one back. So I wrap every knife with its own custom sheath to protect the edge. All right. So while I'm wrapping this up, does anyone have any questions or better ideas of how to sharpen? So I cut everything with a piece of twine and butcher paper, wrap it up with a few business cards. Hardest part is trying to tie a bow on camera. Awesome. All right, so his knives are all done. Let's clean up shop a little bit. This pink stone, let's put this guy back. So if you guys need any knife sharpening, I'm a full-time fireman. I do accept mail-in orders. So I still have the Ken Onion even though I have more expensive tools, and this is just a workhorse. I've had it for a couple years, still holding strong, and then you can see how well it sharpens those pruners very quick and efficiently. So let's swap out this bit. So these are just radial discs that you can get off Amazon. Both of these. These are a wire wheel brush. This one I think is like an 80 grit. keep the shop a little organized. So I use the green frog tape to help prevent any scratches on any of the knives. So you'll see me tear it off, put it on the new angle guide. And because you just don't want metal on metal. So, you know, I would say any tape is fine, but I've been using the like the green frog tape, and that's been great to prevent any real scratches. And then I have my magnet here to help catch any metal shavings. All right, cool, got that. And I'll give the customer a call, let them know that their tools are all done. Just regular magazine paper I'm cutting on, but very thin. Use twine and butcher paper and give them a few business cards, and that's pretty much it, guys. So this is Vinny, the knife guy in Reno, Nevada. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, I do live streams a couple times a week. So thank you guys very much and have a great day. Bye.